Whether you realize it or not, you've probably engaged in deciding composition of a photo. If you've ever taken a photo before, you've made the conscious decision of what to include in the shot and how many elements to put in that frame. It could be from how close or how far away you want to take that photo. It could be deciding if you want just a shot of yourself or a shot of all of your friends. All these decisions make up what we call composition. In the most simplest terms, composition is how different elements of a photo are arranged. You, as the photographer, get to decide how many elements you choose to include in your shot. It could be many or a few elements. Composition is also how you, as an artist, choose to arrange the elements in the frame. In this lesson, you will get an introduction to composition and what it means for video. Here are our learning objectives for this learning module. You will review these at the end of the lesson. This is a great way to gauge your level of understanding for the material. At the end of the lecture, review these objectives and ask yourself if you understand everything. If not, reach out for help or revisit the content from this learning module. The camera is a tool for looking at things in a special way. It's a window to the world, which you control. Your viewers are the persons who will look at these pictures that you take. They will see only what you decide to show them. This selectivity is the basis of all camera work. Remember, the camera is selective. You get to decide what the viewers will see. Now that we have covered some of the basics of the camera in previous lessons, you can now begin to learn about how you can bring a story to life visually. Few of us really know why we are feeling what we feel. After this lesson, you will. You will never again watch movies the same way. Once you become aware of the techniques filmmakers use, you'll be much more cognizant of them, making it far more difficult for you as an audience member to enter what is called dreamland. This is the state where you are no longer focused on reality, but rather fully engrossed in the film. The better a filmmaker you become, the harder it will be for you to tune out your inner director. It happens to all of us. But in exchange, we are left with an even greater experience. The first step is to have a strong understanding of composition. For those of you who are unaware, composition is the placement or arrangements of elements in a work of art. Notice I said a work of art rather than a film. That's because all art forms have some type of composition. There is a reason Mozart is known as a composer. He is taking all of the elements such as musical notes, and creating a piece of art or composition. We could spend many lessons discussing composition and other forms of art, but for now, let's stick to the composition as it pertains to film. Some of the most common elements of composition in film are placement of actors, placement of cameras, camera height, headroom, and looking room, but there are so many more. We will cover quite a few in the next few lessons. Before you move through these, let's make one thing clear. There are many rules of composition, all of which have a place. But what is essential for you as a filmmaker to understand is that not only can you break these rules, I implore you to do so. However, just like anything else, you must understand the rules in order to break them with purpose. Following these rules will give the audience the necessary information, but breaking them with purpose will create a deeper and more meaningful experience. It is breaking of these film conventions that often creates films that are celebrated for a lifetime. You need to start with simply understanding how to compose your frames. The majority of your scenes don't call for groundbreaking composition. In fact, the best approach is often to try and keep the composition invisible. So simply creating a balanced and well-composed frame will allow the audience to become engrossed in the story. There is a basic template that we use to ensure you are composing your frames correctly. Take some time and review the learning objectives for this learning module. Be sure to ask yourself if you understand everything. If not, reach out for help or revisit the content from this learning module. I hope this has piqued your interest in composition and getting you excited to get your hands on a camera and begin setting up for your first video shot. We're going to learn so much more in upcoming lessons, so come back excited and show some enthusiasm for learning more about videography.